Today, we are digging into the incredible story of one of the world's most recognizable breeds, the Rottweiler. And let me tell you, this is more than just a biography of a dog. It's really the story of a working partner, a guardian that was literally forged over 2,000 years of human history. So let's just dive right in. And that brings us to the big question, the one that's at the heart of it all. What was this dog actually bred to do? The answer isn't just one thing. Oh no. It's a whole long resume of different jobs that shaped the powerful, intelligent dog that we know today. Just look at this timeline. It really lays out an incredible journey, doesn't it? I mean, we're talking about going from the Roman legions all the way to German market towns, then the battlefields of world wars, and right into our homes today. It's a pretty epic resume, so let's start right at the very beginning. Now, you might think our story would start in Germany, right? But nope. We have to go way back, all the way to the Roman Empire. Because it was the needs of a massive continent-spanning army that actually created the blueprint for what would one day become the Rottweiler. Think about it. The Roman army didn't have refrigerated trucks. They had food on the hoof. To manage these huge herds of cattle on their long campaigns, they needed dogs that were tough, smart, and completely dependable. These ancestors of the Rottweiler, well, they were basically essential pieces of equipment for the Roman war machine. And their job description was, well, it was intense. They weren't just herding cattle. They were also guarding that precious food supply from, thieves and predators. And on top of that, they acted as sentries for the entire camp at night. So these dogs were bred for unbelievable endurance, serious strength, and a powerful protective instinct. Those are the core traits we still see in the breed today. So, the physical foundation for these dogs was what's known as the Molossus type. You can think of it as the ancient blueprint for all those big, powerful guard dogs. This lineage is exactly why the Rottweiler has that substantial build and that natural talent for guarding. It's a direct link to the dogs that were protecting Roman soldiers over 2,000 years ago. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's fast forward a bit. The Romans eventually leave, but their dogs? They stick around in southern Germany. And it's here, in a little cattle trading town called Rottweil, that the breed gets its name and its purpose really gets perfected. The Germans gave them this amazing name, Rottweiler Metzgerhund, and that literally just means the Rottweil butcher's dog. This wasn't just a cute nickname, it was a job title. It showed just how critical these dogs were to the local butchers. So what was that job? Well, they had this crucial triple duty function. As you can see here, first, their job was to drive the cattle to the market. Then they'd pull carts loaded with meat back from the market. And maybe most importantly, they acted as these four-legged bodyguards, protecting the butcher's earnings on the often dangerous road home. And get this, because it shows you just how much trust people had in these dogs, the legend says that butchers would literally tie their money pouches right around the dog's thick neck. I mean, would you try to rob a man whose bank is a powerful protective dog? Yeah, I didn't think so either. But then, something happened that almost wiped them out completely. Progress. With the rise of railways and roads, cattle could be moved by train. The drover dog's main job was suddenly obsolete. The Rottweiler Metzgerhund, this breed that was perfected for a very specific purpose, was suddenly facing extinction. And the scale of this decline was just staggering. I mean, by the turn of the 20th century, it's reported that there was only a single breeding female left in the whole town of Rottweil. One. The breed was literally on its last legs. Thankfully, some dedicated enthusiasts stepped in to save the breed, but they had different ideas about how to do it. So in 1907, two different clubs popped up. You had the DRK, which was all about working ability, function over form, and then you had the IRK, which wanted to create a consistent look, or morphology, based on a specific breed standard. And these two visions are perfectly captured by their two main foundation dogs. On one side, you've got Lord von der Teck. He was the DRK's ideal worker. On the other side, you have Ralph Fumnecker. He was the IRK's big show winner, praised for his nobility. This was a classic debate that, honestly, still goes on in many working breeds today. Should a dog be defined by what it does or by how it looks? In the end, it was the push for a standard, basically a blueprint for the breed, that really won out. A modern breed standard, like this one from the FCI, gets into incredible detail. It specifies everything, from the shape of the forehead to the strength of the back and the powerful hindquarters. This was the IRK's vision coming to life, creating a predictable, noble appearance.
So, just as the breed is being standardized and literally saved from extinction, the world was changing, and this revived Rottweiler found a brand new, critical role in police and military service, where its ancient intelligence and courage were needed all over again.
And in 1910, it all became official. The Rottweiler was formally recognized as the fourth official police dog breed in Germany. This was a huge deal, a milestone that really cemented its reputation as a serious, capable service animal. Then, during the First and Second World Wars, they served in all sorts of roles. They were messenger dogs, running vital communications through the chaos of a battlefield. They were ambulance dogs, trained to find wounded soldiers. They were draft dogs, pulling carts just like they did back in Rottweil. And of course, they were incredible guard dogs. Okay, so that brings us to today, to the modern Rottweilers. We have a dog with this incredibly deep history of work, now living in a world where it's often seen as a family companion, but also has to navigate a lot of public perception and, let's face it, controversy. A perfect example of this is the Great Tail debate. Back in 1997, the main German club and the FCI, which governs standards for most of the world, changed the standard to a natural, undocked tail. But here in the US and Canada, the AKC standard still calls for a docked tail. It's a really clear visual of the different philosophies about the breed. And then, we have to talk about the stereotype, right? The media often portrays the Rottweiler as being inherently dangerous or aggressive, and that's a reputation that really follows the breed around and often overshadows its true character. But reality often tells a very different story. Take Jake, a Rottweiler in the UK. In 2009, he saw a woman being attacked. He didn't hesitate for a second. He chased off the attacker, stood guard over the victim, and then led his owner to the scene. He was later given an award for his bravery. That is the true protective instinct of the breed in action. And you know, if you go back to that official breed standard, the actual blueprint for the breed, you find what the ideal temperament is supposed to be. And it's right here. Good-natured, placid, even-tempered, devoted, obedient, and eager to work. Self-assured, steady, and fearless, yes, but with a calm, even temper. That's the complete Rottweiler. So we end up back where we started. We have a dog that was forged by thousands of years of work, from herding Roman cattle to serving in modern police forces. So the question for any owner, for any of us today, is this: how do we honor that incredible legacy and give this amazing working dog a real purpose in our modern world?